Hi everyone, welcome back to E7 Edition channel. In today's tutorial, I will guide you how to dress like the queen puppy in crochet. I made the dress and the headband. I'm working for size 1 here, but you can adjust it to your own size. So let's get started! So let's start this upper part of the dress, and this is the front panel. So using your turquoise color and your 4mm hook, we will make a slip knot. And then let's make a chain. And this chain must be equal to the half of the chest for kids and the half of the underbust for women. So for me, I will chain 9.5 inches, and I have to count also when I'm done the number of my chains, so I can repeat the same number for the back panel. And don't forget also to take a note of this number. So I'm done with my chain, and I need 37 chains for my size. So for the first row, I will make a row of a single crochet. So let's chain one. To make a single crochet, insert the hook into the second chain from your hook. Yarn over and pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 2. Let's insert the hook in the next chain. So insert, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through 2. So this is what you should have for this entire row. Insert, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops in the hook, yarn over, pull through 2. This is a single crochet row. For row 2, I will chain 1 and turn, and I will start by making a slip stitch. So I will insert my hook in that first stitch, and I will make a slip stitch. So insert, yarn over and pull through all loops. The next stitch will be a half double crochet. So to make a half double crochet, yarn over, insert in the next stitch and pull through. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all loops. So this row, it's the pattern of this row, it's alternation between these 2 stitches, a slip stitch and a half double crochet. So the next one will be a slip stitch. So to make a slip stitch, insert, yarn over and pull through all loops. The next stitch will be a half double crochet, so yarn over, insert in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 1. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all loops. So keep doing this until the end of your row. Okay, now you just have to repeat row 2, alternation between a slip stitch and a half double crochet, until your work from the first row until the last row made will measure shoulder to under bust plus 3 minus armhole depth. Okay, so for me, I will keep repeating this until I make a 4.75 inches of these rows. And also I have to take a note of the number of rows that I'm making, so I can repeat the same for the other panel. I usually prefer to count the number of rows while working, because after you finish your work it's sometimes tricky to really figure out the real exact number of your rows. So it's better when you finish each row, it's better to take a note where you are at which row. So I'm back and I already reached my desired length, and I cut my yarn. Plus I placed 2 stitch markers from each side of my work. And you have to leave for size 0 to 6 years 1 inch, and for size 7 to 8 years 1.25 inch, and for size 9 to 12 years 1.50 inches, and 2 inch for the rest of adult size. And also you have to count the number of your stitches from each side to be more accurate where you have, and to know where you have to place your stitch markers. So now let's take our yarn, and I will attach to the stitch marker where I've cut my yarn to this side. Okay, so let's remove the stitch marker, and I will attach my yarn, chain 1, and I just have to continue my pattern, which is alternation between a slip stitch and a half double crochet. So in that first stitch where I attach my yarn, I will make a slip stitch, and also one more thing, that you have to attach your yarn to a slip stitch, okay. So yeah, now I have to make a half double crochet on top the previous half double crochet, and then a slip stitch on top of the previous slip stitch, and so on. So I will keep continuing this pattern until I hit this stitch marker. So I am at the end of my row. Let's remove this stitch marker, and I will place slip stitch. For row 2 I have to chain 1 and turn, and also I have to continue the same pattern, slip stitch followed by a half double crochet until I reach the end of this row. So from here you just have to keep repeating this pattern from this point to this point, and until you reach your armhole depth divided by 2. So from this row until the last row you will make, you must reach your armhole depth divided by 2. For me, I will work, that's mean from this row to the last row I will work 1.8 inch. It's around 2 inches. Okay, so I will make that, and I don't have also to forget to count the number of your rows while working. So I'm done with my second part, and I made 10 rows. That's mean for the third part I have to make also 10 rows. But first you have to figure out your middle of your work. For that you have to count the number of your stitches to be more precise, and then you divide your work. So now I will continue making the same pattern until I reach 1 stitch before the stitch marker. But first you have to make sure that you are working on the right shoulder, because the left one will be completely made in in a different method. Okay, so I reached my last stitch before the stitch marker, and now we have to decrease 2. So I made the last one, it was my last stitch was half double crochet, so now I have to make decrease 2 slip stitch. So insert, yarn over and pull through. I have to remove the stitch marker and insert in the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook, so you take this last loop and you pull through all loops on your hook. This is the decrease for a slip stitch, decrease 2 slip stitch. But if your next stitch was a half double crochet, then to make a decrease 2 half double crochet you have to yarn over and insert in that next stitch, yarn over and pull through 1. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over again, insert in the next stitch, yarn over and pull through 1. You have 5 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all loops. Okay, so for me it's a decrease 2 slip stitch. For the second row I will not decrease, so I will chain 1 and turn, and I will start by a slip stitch, follow it by a half double crochet, and so on. Okay, so from here you just have to do these rows, okay, until you make the same number of rows made for the second part. For me, the second part was made of 10 rows, so now I will alternate between a row of decrease 2 and a row of non-decrease until I reach the same number. And now I'm going to work on the second strap. The second strap, okay, the last one, is worked separately. So I will make a chain equal to the stitches of the last row of this first strap. And for me it's made of 9 stitches, so I will chain 9. And for the first row I will chain 1 and I will make a single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and I'll single crochet into each stitch across. For the second row I will chain 1 and turn, and I will continue making this pattern, alternating between a slip stitch and a half double crochet. And from here you just have to keep repeating row 2 until you reach the same number made for part 2 and for part 3 minus 1 row. So for me, this part from this point to this row I made 20 rows, so that means I have to make 19 rows, and I will see you again to make the last row. So I'm on my last row. On this row I have to decrease 2 slip stitch from the beginning and the end of this row. So I will chain 1 and turn and insert my hook into that first stitch, and then insert the hook in the next stitch and pull through all loops. Okay, and then into the next stitch let's make a half double followed by a slip stitch. And when you reach the last 2 stitches, let's make decrease. Okay, I will add one more row of decreases from the starting, from the beginning and the end. So let's chain 1 and turn, and I will decrease 2 slip stitches, and I will continue the pattern. In the last 2 stitches, I will make decrease 2 slip stitch. Okay, and from here I will chain 1 and turn, and I will make 1 single crochet into each stitch, and I will turn my work, and I have to place 1 single crochet into each row. So I'm working the border all across. Okay, so I will put 1 single crochet into each row, and when I reach this point, I will continue making 1 single crochet into each stitch, and again 1 single crochet into each row. When you reach this point, cut your yarn. Okay, I'm at the end, so I will make a slip stitch to the first single crochet, and I have to cut my yarn, and I will leave it like this. I will not connect it to the front panel right now because I have to connect it first to the back panel. So now go ahead and make the back panel. The back panel is made the same as the front panel, just the first and the second part. Okay, so you have to start by making the foundation chain equal to this one, the front one, respecting the number of rows for the first part and the second part. So I finished my second part. For the third part of the back panel, it's quite so easy. So you just have to keep repeating the same number of rows made for the first part. So I made 10 for the second part. I just have to continue making another 10 rows, repeating the same pattern. So I'm done with my back panel, and now this time is the time of the seam. So place both of your panels in this way, but first make sure that the right side of the back panel is facing up and the wrong side of the front panel is facing up. So bring your darning needle, and we are going to connect both sides, this side to this side, from this point to this point. So first insert your needle in the first stitch of the front and back panel, and let's make a knot. And you just have to sew both sides. Okay, so go and do this until you reach this point. Cut fast enough, and when you finish, you have to do this side too the same way. Now I will work on this piece of crochet line of embroidery stitches called satin. So let's bring your darning needle and make sure that you are working on a double strand. And so bring your white yarn, insert your darning needle from behind your work and from this side of this piece, okay? Now insert here. So you must also to connect the front panel shoulder to the back panel shoulder. And now we are going to connect this piece on the back panel, always on the wrong side. So on this way. Right, so now you have to cut, and now I will connect this piece to the front panel using a little piece of shikshlag. So I will place one part of the shikshlag on front panel and the other one on this piece, okay? And I'm going to sew it using my darning needle and my blue yarn. Now I will work on the border of the armhole. So let's attach the yarn to the side. Chain one, and I will put one single crochet into each row. So I will make one single crochet all around this hole until I reach the end. So I'm back and I worked the single crochet border all around this armhole, and now I will slip stitch to the first single crochet. Now I have to cut and fasten off. And now I will work the neckline border along with the armhole border. So you have to attach your yarn right here at this point, and then you have to work one single crochet into each stitch and one single crochet into each row, then one single crochet into each stitch, and you have to work the armhole border, and when you reach this point you have to cut your yarn. Now I will work the skirt. I will make it separately, and I will make a 2 panel for the skirt, the front and the back. Okay, so first I will make a chain equal to the front panel, one of the panel of the top. For me, each panel was made of 37 chains. So I will make 37 chain. And I will work the same pattern as the top. So for the first row I will chain 1, and in the second chain from the hook I will make a single crochet, and then a single crochet in each chain. So it's just the same pattern. For row 2 I will chain 1 in turn, and I will make a slip stitch in the first stitch, followed by a half double crochet, and then slip stitch and a half double crochet all across the row. So from here you just have to keep repeating row 2, alternating between a slip stitch and a half double crochet until you reach the length of the skirt above the knee divided by 3. Okay, so for me the length of the skirt above the knee divided by 3, it's equal for me around 2.4 inches. So I will make this number of rows 2.4 inches. I will see you again when I finish. I just want also to mention that you have to count the number of your rows while working, just to separate your length of the skirt in 3 equal parts. So I finished my first part and I reached my desired number of rows, and I made 14 rows. Okay, now I will start making the first row of the second part. So here we have to increase 2 stitches from each side. So I will chain 1 and turn, and I will make a slip stitch in the first stitch and place a half double crochet in the same place. So this is increase. Okay, and from here I will continue alternating between a slip stitch and a half double crochet. I will keep repeating this until I reach the last stitch where I should increase. I'm at the last stitch, so I have to put 1/2 double crochet and a slip stitch. Okay, for the second row it will be the same. Okay, and after the second row of part 2 you have to repeat the same number for part 1. So you will still have, I will still have actually to make 12 rows after row 2. Okay, so each part it must be equal in the number of rows. So I've finished my second part. Okay, and I will see you to make the last part. So I'm done with my second part, and now I will start by the third part, and it's going to be the same of the second part, except we have to work with the jade color. So I will attach it right here. And I can cut with my turquoise color. I'll chain one and turn. And for the first row, I have to put one slip stitch and 1/2 double crochet in the first stitch, and then I will continue alternating between a slip stitch and a 1/2 double crochet. At the last stitch, I have to increase also to put 1/2 double crochet and 1 slip stitch, and you just have to make the same number of rows made for the second part. And when you reach the end, just cut and fasten off. And now you just have to make another one similar to this panel so we can complete the skirt. And now we are going to see both panels of the skirt together, but first make sure that the first panel, the right side is facing up and the wrong side of the second panel is facing up. So now bring your darning needle and the blue yarn to seam together. Only the blue side from this point to this point. So when you reach this point, you have to cut your yarn, and then you connect both sides with the jade color, this part, and when you finish this side, you have to do the same for the other side. Now you just have to attach the crop top to the skirt by sewing on the wrong side, of course. So for this pattern, I used a felt sheet. So I drew these triangles on a felt sheet, and then I cut it, and then I used my sewing machine to stabilize on my dress. And for these petals, I used my glue gun to stabilize on this dress. Okay. Let's make a chain with a green color using your 2mm hook, and this chain must be equal to the head circumference. For me, I'm working for someone else, but if you are working for yourself, it's better to measure it on your head. So because for me, size 1 here, I will take the head circumference, and when I want to measure, I have to stretch out my foundation chain until I reach my head circumference. So for me, my head circumference, it's equal to 15. It's between 14 and 16 actually, so I will stick to 15 inches. And I will not close the chain, I will keep it open, and I will make 3 rows of single crochet. So chain 1 and insert my hook, your hook in the second chain, and let's make a single crochet into each chain across. Okay, so you just have to make 3 simple rows of single crochet. You can make it wider, but for me, I think 3 rows or 4 rows are enough. I end up by making 5 rows of single crochet because I have to place a little piece of shlik right here, and it must be bigger than the schlick, and then I will close it like this, or you can choose anything else to close this band. And now I'm going to work on the flowers. So I made the first flower with 3 leaves, and we have 2 different flowers to make. So this is the first one, and I will make another one, and this flower is made from 3 petals, 1 big and 2 small. So I will start by the small petals, and I will grab my 1mm hook and the ocean blue color. Sorry if I've said before it was turquoise, but actually it's a ocean blue color. So let's make a slip knot. And I will chain 6. And make 1 slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, and then 1 single crochet in the second chain, and 1/2 double crochet in the next, and 1 double crochet in the next, and 2 double crochet in the last chain. Let's turn our work, and I will work on the same chain but on the opposite side. So this is, I will work also 2 double crochet in the same place, and then in the next chain I will work 1 double, and then 1/2 double and 1 single, and then a slip stitch. Okay. So this is a small one. Now you have to cut and fasten off. Okay, let's do the big petal right now. So for that I have to chain 9. And now I have to make 1 slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, and 1 slip stitch in the next chain, and now 1 single crochet, then another single crochet in the next chain, and now I have to put 1/2 double crochet in the next 3 chains. 2 and 3. And in the last chain I have to make 2 double. Then I will work on the opposite side, so I will repeat 2 double crochet in the same place, and then I have to make 1/2 in the next 3. 1, 2, 3. And then 1 single crochet in the next 2, and then 1 slip stitch in the next 2. Now you have to connect these 3 petals together on the wrong side by sewing them. Okay. So now we will make the leaves, and you have to make 3 leaves for each flowers, in total 9. And I'm using my 1mm hook. So let's work 1 single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and then 1/2 double crochet, and then 2 double crochet in the next same chain. And then 1/2 double crochet, and then let's make 2 single crochet in the last stitch, in the last chain. And now I will turn my work and work on the opposite side. So let's make again in the same chain 2 single crochet, and then 1/2, and then 2 double crochet in the same place, and then 1/2 double crochet, and in the last space let's make 1 single crochet. From here you just have to cut and fasten off. And now you have to connect these 3 leaves together on the wrong side, as you've done for the petals. And when you are done, bring your flower and place it on top of the leaves, and using the ocean blue color you have to connect it to the leaves, and then after that place it in the middle of the headband. Okay, and then when you finish this, you have to make the last flower, the third one. It's made with 4 small petals.